Every single Knicks conversation this summer has been hijacked by one storyline: LeBron James joining Philadelphia. But while everyone's fixated on that move, a team that's already beaten the Knicks once is quietly being overlooked, and insiders are starting to sound the alarm about it. I've gone through every angle of this developing debate, every stat, every quote, every ranking, and I'm going to break it all down for you right now. So before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because this one might change how you're looking at the whole Eastern Conference. Let's start with why the Sixers have completely dominated the conversation. When LeBron James signed with Philadelphia, it wasn't just about adding one future Hall of Famer. The Sixers made two blockbuster additions this offseason, first trading for Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics and then landing LeBron himself in free agency. Add those two names to a core that already features Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, rising talent VJ Edgecombe, and sharpshooter Anfernee Simons, and you get a roster that instantly looks like one of the deepest, most star-studded groups in basketball. According to FanDuel's updated championship odds, Philadelphia's title price dropped all the way from roughly plus 2,700 down into the plus 900 range within days of the LeBron signing, now trailing only the Knicks themselves among Eastern Conference contenders. That kind of instant market reaction shows just how much weight oddsmakers put on a single roster addition, especially one involving a player with LeBron's resume and postseason pedigree. It's easy to see why this has become the story of the summer. A roster with that much combined star power, championship pedigree, and shot creation would make any fan base nervous, and Philadelphia has spent years waiting for exactly this kind of superstar collection to finally arrive. But here's where things get interesting, and where a growing number of insiders are pushing back. According to one analysis making the rounds, the Sixers, for all their star power, are still just a theoretical threat until they actually step onto the court together. Meanwhile, the Indiana Pacers, who already proved they could beat this exact Knicks roster in last year's Eastern Conference Finals, have been almost completely forgotten in the conversation. The last time Indiana was fully healthy, they won 50 games, knocked New York out of the playoffs, and came within 12 points of winning the entire NBA championship against Oklahoma City. That's not speculation or projected fit. That's a team that's already proven it can go toe-to-toe with this Knicks core in a 7-game series and come out ahead. As of the most recent odds tracking, the four biggest challengers to New York out east are being listed as the Sixers, Celtics, Raptors, and Pistons, and there's a real argument that ranking overlooks exactly the team that's already done the damage before. Tyrese Halliburton's combination of elite playmaking and clutch shot-making has already given the Knicks fits once, and there's no reason to believe a fully healthy Pacers roster couldn't do it again, regardless of how many new names are wearing Philadelphia jerseys. Karl-Anthony Towns himself has weighed in on this debate, and his answer might surprise you given how much attention LeBron's move has generated. Towns has publicly identified one specific team as the club he's thinking about most heading into next season, and it's not necessarily who you'd expect given the offseason headlines. Jalen Brunson echoed a similar sentiment, saying he likes New York's chances in a reshaped Eastern Conference, but that everything ultimately comes down to the work this roster puts in during the regular season, not the names splashed across free agency headlines. It's the kind of measured response you'd expect from a group that's already won it all and knows firsthand how unpredictable a full season and playoff run can actually be. Neither Towns nor Brunson has any interest in getting caught up in off-season hype cycles, and that even-keeled approach is exactly the kind of veteran perspective that helped this team survive a grueling 7-round path to the championship in the first place. There's also a specific matchup wrinkle worth paying attention to when it comes to Philadelphia specifically. Karl-Anthony Towns has struggled with foul trouble against the Sixers in particular, averaging 4.5 fouls a game in matchups against Philadelphia, a notably higher number than the 3.5 fouls a game he averaged against Atlanta, or the 3.75 fouls a game he posted against Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. That number is nearly identical to the 4.6 fouls a game he racked up in the finals, mostly guarding the league's new favorite big man, Victor Wembanyama. If LeBron and a deeper Sixers roster force Towns into even more foul trouble than usual, that's a real tangible concern that goes beyond just star power on paper. On the other hand, Joel Embiid's own durability issues have been a consistent storyline for years now, and if he can't stay on the floor consistently, some of Philadelphia's theoretical advantage simply evaporates regardless of how many stars are surrounding him. It's a genuine wildcard that could swing this matchup dramatically in either direction depending entirely on health, something that's impossible to project accurately in the middle of August. And that's really the heart of this entire debate. The Sixers have collected an enormous amount of talent, but talent alone doesn't guarantee chemistry, health, or postseason execution. Three things the Knicks have already proven they have in abundance after winning the franchise's first title in 53 years. Indiana, meanwhile, doesn't need to prove anything on paper because they already did it on the court, against this exact roster, grinding through a physical, high-stakes series that came down to the final possessions. Some analysts have gone as far as predicting Philadelphia finishes closer to 5th or 6th in the conference standings this season, well behind not just the Knicks but Miami and Orlando as well, arguing that all the offseason buzz around LeBron is getting ahead of what actually happens once real games start counting. That kind of prediction would have sounded almost absurd a few weeks ago, before anyone had time to actually break down what a roster built around 4 aging or oft-injured stars really looks like on paper versus how it performs across an 82-game grind. None of this means the Sixers shouldn't be taken seriously. Adding a player of LeBron's caliber alongside Jaylen Brown to an already talented roster is a legitimate move that raises Philadelphia's ceiling significantly, and the rivalry between these two cities only adds another layer of intensity to whatever happens when these teams eventually meet. A rivalry that stretches back decades and carries real emotional weight beyond just the standings. But the lesson from Indiana's run last year is that proven, healthy continuity can matter just as much as star power collected in a single offseason. And it would be a mistake for the Knicks or anyone watching this conference to let one blockbuster signing completely erase the memory of a team that's already gone through New York once before. So here's where everything stands. The Eastern Conference picture has been completely reshaped by LeBron's move to Philadelphia, and the Sixers now sit as the second most talked about title threat behind the Knicks themselves. But a growing chorus of insiders is warning that the Indiana Pacers, a team with actual recent proof they can beat this exact roster, deserve just as much attention heading into the season, if not more. Whether Philadelphia's star power translates into real results, or whether Indiana's proven formula ends up being the bigger obstacle, is exactly the kind of question that won't get answered until the games actually start, and it's a reminder that championship windows in this league are decided by health and continuity just as often as they are by star power splashed across a headline in July. So tell me what you think. Do you believe the Sixers are the biggest threat to the Knicks this season, or do you think everyone's sleeping on the Pacers after what they did last year? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you catch every update as it happens. I'll be back soon with more Knicks news.